Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Healthier Lifestyles with Linda Miller. This is Coach Linda. Today we are preparing this beef roast that I fortunately caught on sale. It was under $30 and I got it for $20. Do the math, $3.99 a pound. Earlier, I prepared the meat on one side, flipped it over, and now I'm going to show you what I did. First, I put Worcestershire sauce, and then some Dale's marinade, low sodium. What I like to do is to tenderize the meat with a fork and get some of those marinades into this huge piece of meat. In the meantime, I have my stove preheating at 250, where I will start out cooking it slowly. This roast is going to cook for several hours. It's for dinner. Okay, next I put some minced onion flakes, some garlic powder. Remember, this was done on the other side earlier. Ground pepper. I don't use salt because the Dale's has salt in it, and so does the Worcestershire, just a tad bit. Now I will add potatoes on the sides, cut into medallions. Oh, forgot the minced garlic. Yes, that's what I put on the other side, and I had left out some. Can you see? Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is spread these potatoes around it. Now, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment. Normally, I would use a bigger tray because I would probably cook 2 of these beef roasts. But we've had beef already one other time this week. So a small portion will be fine. Serving 5 people, breaking it down, this roast is going to be about $4 per person. Next, I'm going to put a little garlic powder on the potatoes, and maybe some minced onions. Yes, and some basil on the potatoes. A little paprika would be good too. Okay, now I'm going to layer red onions over it. And there, gently. And then peppers. I cut them in half, and I'm putting the side down so that when the flavor comes, it will go into the meat when it leaches out of the pepper. Delicious. This will have to cook for several hours, I'm sure. And the last thing I will put on here are green onions. There we go. So here you have it, a meal for 5 people. Let's say it probably cost me about $25. Look at that. Isn't that roast beautiful? We're going to let it slow cook all day. Probably serve it with some rolls. Again, if you have any questions. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Forgot the water. This meat will throw off some juices, but this is just a little extra. You could use beef bouillon, or beef stock, but I decided not to because this is such a large roast. I'm cooking it slow. I've got all these other ingredients. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me on Facebook under Linda Miller, YouTube with my Healthier Lifestyles with Coach Linda Miller. God bless.